From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2075, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, August 9th, 2017. 2017 Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF Young Ham of the Year, Marty Sulloway, KC1CWF, tops this week's Amateur Radio Newsline. Of course, there's way too much to tell you here. You can hear all about Marty in this week's full Amateur Radio Newsline Report, and we invite you to join us and meet Marty at the Huntsville Ham Fest, Saturday, August 19th in Huntsville, Alabama. We've been covering the airborne adventures of one ham trying to retrace and complete Amelia Earhart's ill-fated voyage of 80 years ago. We're happy to tell you that trip has reached a very happy end. The Spirit has landed. With the single-engine aircraft's wheels once again on the ground, rest assured that the traveling days of pilot Brian Lloyd, WB6RQN, aren't over just yet. He completed his around-the-world tribute flight to Amelia Earhart with a July 31st landing at California's Oakland Airport. The 80th anniversary flight honoring Earhart's final trip is in the books. While logging all those miles and all those QSOs too, Brian faced some technical as well as bureaucratic challenges. As of production deadline at Newsline, he was on his way safely home to Spring Branch, Texas, with a stopover at Earhart's Atchison, Kansas birthplace. And thus, Brian Lloyd pays Amelia Earhart his final tribute. Here comes the sun, or rather, there goes the sun, as an eclipse moves in on August 21st. So what happens to emergency communications?
As the saying goes, when all else fails, ham radio. In this case, with the coming of a total solar eclipse, what's going to fail, in a manner of speaking, is the sun itself, at least for a short while. Emergency dispatch centers around Central Oregon aren't taking any chances. Oregon is expected to have a 70-mile-wide zone of totality when the eclipse happens. According to a report in the Central Oregon Bulletin, a number of emergency services personnel are already making plans that include area amateur radio operators so that emergency calls still get through. Nathan Garibay, a sergeant with the Deschutes County Sheriff's Office and emergency services manager for the county, has coordinated with Don Shurtleff, WB0DVS, information officer for the Deschutes County Amateur Radio Emergency Service and the High Desert Amateur Radio Group. Shurtleff's team will staff a joint information center throughout the eclipse, joining others from emergency response teams from around the region. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jim Dameron, N8TMW.
This month's eclipse is also turning into an amateur radio project for a college team based in Virginia.
A senior at Virginia Tech is using her Blacksburg, Virginia backyard as a kind of propagation laboratory. Magda Moses, KM4EGE, is part of a team of students and faculty who, like so many others, are eagerly awaiting the solar eclipse on August 21. The group is hoping to study changes that occur in the ionosphere during the total solar eclipse. It is the first such eclipse to be visible from the U.S. since 1979. Faculty and students will be monitoring radio waves from locations in Oregon, where the eclipse will begin, Kansas, the eclipse's midpoint, and South Carolina as the eclipse departs. Magda's backyard has been outfitted with 4 pole-mounted antennas. The team will analyze data they collect about how radio waves behave when the moon blocks the sun's radiation from entering the ionosphere, exactly what will be happening as the eclipse occurs. Those few moments are the students' only chance to be doing this as undergraduates. The next such eclipse won't be happening until 2024. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Mike Askins, KE5CXP. For the rest of this week's Amateur Radio News, please listen to the full Amateur Radio Newsline report online, on a repeater near you, or on shortwave radio station WTWW at 9930 and 5085 kilohertz. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at www.arnewsline.org. With Jim Dameron, N8TMW, Mike Askins, KE5CXP, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.